I ask for the truth on behalf of Megan Joe concerning career issues. Megan wants to know about some job interview she's had for obviously medical field job interview. Wants to know if there's going to be a change in scenery or something maybe in that regard. It's a dream job, by the way. I just wondered if things are going to change for the better. We just ask for guidance and insight here in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. And we just cut the deck like that and place the top part on the bottom. Or is it the bottom and the top? I don't know, you decide. And then we'll deal out 3 cards. The first card we deal is in the possession of the recent past. The next card we deal is in the possession of the present. And then the immediate future we pop just next to it there. Can you, I don't know, can you just see that there? I'll just move it so I can just look on the screen. It's a bit better, isn't it, for you? So the first one is the recent past. Now this is a period of time, roughly, between now and this time last month. Just keep an eye on the red light there, that's the solar panel charging up, and that will indicate when the sun goes down. And then we can turn it off until we use it there. Just a bit of useless information. So let's just pull out the first card here, and then we'll just flip the card over nice and slowly, not to disturb the energy, and we'll just see what we've got vibrating for the recent past concerning the career issue. So we have to relate the meaning or the interpretation of this card with the question asked. And in this particular case, we've got the moon. The moon, of course, is a bit like the tarot type moon in the sense it's introspective. You have to view it as introspection in some way. However, with the Lanneman, of course, it is more that, isn't it? Where usually in some Lanneman depictions, it's a shepherd sitting with the sheep at night time, and all he's got to do other than wash his sheep, of course, all he's got to do is think about things, maybe what's been going on throughout the day or his life or whatever. So there has been that sort of introspective vibration going on there. I'm just looking at that and I'm looking at the, I don't know what that extra thing is there. I don't know if it's like a magnifying glass, but it may be putting a magnifying glass on. It doesn't look like a bloody magnifying glass, but I'm sort of getting the impression, is that, what is it? You tell me. But I'm sort of getting, as I'm putting a magnifying glass and looking into further detail, looking at things in greater detail, and I'm sort of getting like, don't judge a book by its cover, or don't, or look beyond immediate appearances, and that's what you've been doing, maybe looking beyond immediate appearances. In that way, so all is not what it seems, or whatever. We noticed there that you practice with crystals and things, and so obviously you will be aware of the chakra and all that sort of thing, which isn't, I suppose, a sort of scientific medical way of doing things, is it? It is more of a holistic, as you could call it, at least, if you want to give it a sort of politically correct terminology without offending anybody. And so maybe you what I'm sort of getting this, it's like as if because you're sort of, I suppose I'm bloody prejudging now, but because you are prepared to sort of look at things a bit more holistically or metaphysically, you sort of have, you sort of may not have been either accepted or you don't feel as you would be when maybe they're as interested in it as you. Maybe at the interview you mentioned it and you thought, oh shit, I've blown it now, I've mentioned crystals. Regardless of the fact that they're working with dying people and maybe they're seeing orbs and talking to people who've been there and come back again or something and seen the light at the end of the tunnel and then decided the family don't want them yet, so they've got to come back. Or whatever the who are is, maybe they are more familiar with what you think they shouldn't really be interested in, but shit, you've just mentioned it. You know. I'm just sort of getting that. Let's see what's going on at present, though. Which I suppose is what's most important of all, isn't it, really, what's happening now. We'll just flip the card nice and slow again, not to disturb the energy. And notice here we've got the energy of it's the house, isn't it? Which represents security. Often when you see water, which there isn't in this particular case, but usually sometimes when there's water next to it, it indicates the emotional attachment that you've got with it. But in this particular case, it's just focusing on security. But there's a narrow path. I'm sort of focusing on the narrow path forward. Or is it because there's just something in the way, like a fountain or something maybe? That's what it is. But nevertheless, the water of the fountain is probably, I say probably with a big P, the water of the fountain or something is probably the emotional attachment. It's using a fountain instead of a, I think it's a fountain anyway. Well, it is now because I've decided that. And it's that represents the emotional attachment as opposed to a river with a little boat on it or something like that sometimes. So that's how he's doing that, maybe. I'm looking at the sky as well, as if there may be... there's clear skies, so it's basic cumulonimbus or stratus. I don't know what it says. It's not pissing down with rain anyway, is it? It looks a nice day, so no, maybe that's what it is. It's as clear as can be expected under the prevailing circumstances. But I'm sort of getting this emotional attachment to either home or the job that you were in or the job that you want or something. But there's an emotional. Maybe you've got. I'm sort of getting maybe you have to move home to go there. Either move to live closer, so the bus fare isn't as much, or the petrol costs aren't as much, which I suppose is what people will be doing now. So they'll be sort of cutting the nose off spite the face, wouldn't they? To move. I mean, usually if it's in another city or another country or something, then you've got to move or whatever. But now you've got to move just round the corner because the petrol costs that much. And yes, unleaded petrol does cost less than electric, so don't go electric cars yet, because electric cars cost too much. So that's priced that out of the market, doesn't it? If they want to sort of go wokery snowflake and politically correct with the environmental issues. But laughing and joking apart there, emotional attachment to home, maybe you are too emotionally attached to your own home and you're prepared to say, well, if I can't get that job as the brain surgeon or whatever it is I want to do, the nurse or whatever it is, I can work from home and do holistics and things to fob myself off just so because I'm emotionally attached to being at home. If the hospital or wherever it is I'm working, the clinic or wherever it is I'm expecting to work isn't just round the corner and a cough and a fart off where I can just walk it, then I'll work from home because it'll cost it. But then again, I'm too emotionally attached to my home to actually move even if you could, you're too emotionally attached to the home where you live to actually move to another place where, yes, maybe the neighbours are better as well. But it depends, I don't know. I don't know why I mentioned that. But we'll move on to the next card, which is the immediate future. And that talks about, yes, between now and this time next month, roughly, the next 3 or 4 days. Oh, bloody hell. We've got the whip here. The whip obviously represents arguments and disputes and things, and it looks as though there's a thundering row coming up, and an argument or a dispute about something from a career point of view. Oh, well, you never said, tra-la-la-la-la, yeah, well, if you want to do crystals, and are you bloody calling me are you calling me racist because I do crystals or something, or whatever it is, you're calling me this, that, to the other, so I can be offended and argue with you. And it's this sort of thing where maybe, you know, I don't know if it's that subject matter or whatever it is, but there's a thundering great row coming. Argument over maybe, you know, you should have took that bloody job and now you're stuck here living in this house doing bloody crystals all your life. I don't know if it's some sort of mother figure or somebody who has great aspirations for you, but sees you fobbing yourself off. But either way, there's going to be a bloody argument about it anyway. The argument card, as you could call it, is the Jack of Clubs, or that's what he calls it. The Sierra Marchetti bloke who does the artistry. Jack of Clubs, well, it's obviously the earthly part of fire, isn't it? I don't know, maybe. I mean, I honestly don't bloody know. I mean, the emotional attachment to home is the King of Hearts. I don't know what that's got to do with. I suppose it's security, maybe the security side of it, and the moon. Of course, he's calling the bloody the Six of Hearts. The Six of Hearts or the Six of Cups. I don't know. Six, of course, is analysis. So maybe that's what it is, the analysis of the. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I find that it's a bit of a pig's ear when it comes to the playing card equivalents that he puts up on this bottom right hand corner. Notice there, I don't know if you just let me know. I think you just said the light's gone out. So what we'll do, we'll just turn off the solar controller. And just save the battery there until we need it, and that should be free lighting or nighting, as you'd say. I'm just using the main light, as you'd call it, because it's just a bit, I suppose, a bit more yellowy, sort of. You know, you can see the colours a bit better. But the other ones, you do get a bit of noise, as you call it. You know, like a. I don't know what you call it, a grainy sort of, they call it noise, don't they? Anyway, another into that. So other than the self-analysis or the introspection leading to, of course, emotional attachment to the home, being secure, well, it's the devil I know, it's not the devil I don't know. There's a thundering great argument coming up from a career point of view. Maybe you don't get the position you wanted because if you hadn't a bloody mansion, crystals and Ooflong Dung and Hocus Pocus, you'd have probably got the top job. But because you went and said you were this, that and the bloody other on the metaphysical side, you thought, oh, we better just shove her, just making, you know, put her on the coffee machine or something, keep her out of the way. We don't want superstitious people working here. I don't know, I honestly don't know what it is, but I'm just sort of getting, there's an argument over, maybe, we've got to bloody move home, maybe the emotional attachment is or the person emotionally attached to the home is the other person living with you or something, I don't know, all the people. And, I mean, if your son or daughter, if you've got any, just start saying, I'll scream until I'm sick if I have to leave here. You say, you'll just have to be bloody sick then, won't you? And that's all I can the only answer I'd give anyway. But that's me, isn't it? Because I'm horrible. So with that, we will cast a dark shadow of supernatural truth over these cards for you, just for now, that have spoken.